Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Xiong. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Lai Ching-te, the chairman of the Democratic Progressive Party in Taiwan, is actively preparing for the 2024 presidential election and has been delivering speeches to explain his governing philosophy. He presented 4 ways to protect Taiwan, which includes promoting economic growth, safeguarding democracy, strengthening national defense, and maintaining peace. Lai emphasized that it is crucial to promote the benefits of democracy to the people of China and enable peaceful development between both sides on the Taiwan Strait. He believes that democracy leads to freedom and economic innovation and development. And under President Tsai Ing-wen's leadership, Taiwan has gained international recognition. Lai also stressed the importance of unity and cooperation to defend and strengthen democratic Taiwan against external threats. To protect Taiwan, there are 4 strategies. The first is to pursue economic growth. Lai clarified that Taiwan has a solid economic foundation and should continue to improve the investment environment. Taiwan will also sign free trade agreements and investment protection agreements with like-minded countries and actively participate in regional economies like the CPTPP. Alongside building the nation, he also plans to care for the people. He will strongly combat organized crime, money laundering, gun crimes, and drug trafficking while building a stable public welfare and a peaceful society that provides hope to young people, opportunities for middle-aged people, happiness to the elderly, and support for vulnerable groups. The second strategy is to safeguard democracy. This means that only democracy can ensure freedom. Taiwan's hard-won democracy has been achieved through the sacrifices of many people and must be fully cherished. Lai Ching-te criticized the former President Ma Ying-jeou's visit to China as a step back, ignoring the general consensus of Taiwanese society, which is against reunification and rejects the 1992 consensus and the One China principle. In contrast, Tsai Ing-wen's leadership insists on standing on the road of democracy and freedom, advancing towards the future of the world. These are 2 completely different choices, and he hopes that everyone can cherish the hard-won democracy and abandon the old path of dictatorship. Lai Ching-te stated that democracy, where the people are in charge, is also a fundamental value of Taiwan's international relations. When Taiwan is confronted with threats, it receives assistance from various nations. As we understand the benefits of democracy and the suffering of dictatorship, we must also have the determination to convey the advantages of democracy to the Chinese people, allowing for the sustained peaceful development of both sides of the Taiwan Strait, he said. Thirdly, it is necessary to strengthen national defense. Lai Ching-te clarified that this is not for the purpose of invading other countries, but to deal with the threat from China and enhance Taiwan's capabilities. Peace depends on national defense, and the national defense depends on the entire population. Only with the strength can democracy and freedom be protected. He noted that the EU, the United States, South Korea, and Japan are also cognizant of the threat of communist totalitarianism, and each country has a responsibility to safeguard their own nation and regional peace. The 4th point is to uphold peace. According to Lai Ching-te, peace is priceless, and a war has no winners. While they have fought for democracy in the past, they will strive for peace in the future. They want China to realize that launching a war against Taiwan will result in a global catastrophe that China cannot bear. Lai Ching-te stressed that peace is in the interest of every country. Surrendering to China is not genuine peace, but only superficial. Peace cannot be sought or granted by dictators. It must be achieved through one's own strength, combined with the efforts of the democratic camp. To prevent war, he emphasized that to accomplish the aforementioned goals, the president must win by a high margin. The parliament must be controlled by the majority, and his approval rate must reach a new high. Legislative candidates must also achieve an all-round victory. The issue of cross-strait relations is an unavoidable topic in every Taiwanese presidential election. Lai Ching-te's stance on this matter is very clear. He advocates for using democracy to resist dictatorship. His position is somewhat softer than Tsai Ing-wen's anti-China, pro-Taiwan stance, but he has a better understanding of the nature of the other side. Taiwan is not in conflict with 1.4 billion Chinese people. It is the authoritarian rule of the Chinese Communist Party and the dictatorship of Xi Jinping that pose a threat to Taiwan. Therefore, Lai's approach to using democracy to resist the dictatorship is closer to the stance of being against communism but not against China, which is more likely to gain the understanding of more people. The upcoming Taiwan presidential election has prompted the Chinese Communist Party to weigh its stance and decide which candidate to support. Although the CCP's influence on Taiwan's election is not absolute, it still holds some degree of sway. This is evident in its ability to exert influence through Taiwanese business people engaged in trade with mainland China and through pro-CCP factions in Taiwan. So, who will the CCP endorse in the upcoming Taiwan presidential election? The CCP has established conditions, stating that it will support any political party, including the Democratic Progressive Party, as long as they acknowledge the 1992 consensus with the premise of one China. What do the candidates think about 1992 consensus? At the present, two candidates have made their stance clear. Lai Ching-te opposes the 1992 consensus and does not accept it, while Kuo Wen-jo believes that the 1992 consensus does not exist and that the real consensus of Taiwan should be the 1996 consensus because 1996 is the first year of direct election in Taiwan. Both the Green and the White camp candidates have expressed their opposition to the 1992 consensus. Regarding the remaining candidates from the Blue camp, two individuals vying for the nomination from the Kuomintang are Hou You-yi and Terry Gou. Although neither has verbally expressed support for the 1992 consensus, they have refused to oppose it. Therefore, the CCP can only select one of these two individuals to support. Lai Ching-te recently introduced a groundbreaking idea. In addition to advocating for democracy against authoritarianism, he proposed a way to actively combat it. He stated, "I'm not only interested in defending Taiwan, but also want to promote democracy on the Chinese mainland and spread democratic ideas to China. This is a counterattack." I believe this is a very wise approach. Unlike all other politicians in Taiwan, regardless of their party affiliation, who have a defensive mindset, Lai Ching-te's approach is proactive. The Blue camp's strategy is to seek peace by pleading with Beijing not to attack and accepting Beijing's demands such as accepting the 1992 consensus, one China, or opposing Taiwan's independence. As long as Beijing does not attack, they will accept anything. This is a posture of surrender. On the other hand, Tsai Ing-wen's strategy is to never surrender and fight to the end. Although these two strategies seem different, they are both passive responses. Only Lai Ching-te's proposal stands out as a proactive approach. He refuses to sit idly and wait for an attack. Instead, he wants to promote democratic ideas on the mainland of China and spread these ideas. Frankly, this is a nuclear-level idea that the CCP fears the most. Although the CCP is capable of blocking Western ideas, it is still difficult for them to completely prevent ideas from Taiwan, which shares the same language and cultural background. It is equally challenging for Taiwan to block ideological infiltration from mainland China. Lai Ching-te has put forth the idea of spreading democratic values on mainland China, which could potentially cause headaches for Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping has been tirelessly working to consolidate the power and promote conformity of thought. If people are educated on democracy, all his efforts will be for nothing. Therefore, Lai Ching-te's proposal is quite astute. It is my hope that this is not simply a campaign slogan, but rather a proactive approach for Taiwan to address cross-strait relations. If we only defend, we will always be on the back foot. I appreciate Lai Ching-te's fresh perspective, which may also gain popularity among people on the mainland. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.